Okay, we're back. If you watched our videos, if you've ever watched them to the end, and I don't know how many people do, you've seen this. Q.M.M, boldly doing what no one else is dumb enough to do. Now you might have wondered, why on earth did they put that at the end of every video? You think it's like, is that just some type of weird hyperbole, or, I mean, are they just trying to be wacky, or is it supposed to be a joke? It is not. We are absolutely dead serious about this statement, and that's why we've been putting it up on the ends of the videos since, I think, almost from the beginning. So I wanted to show you that, and we'll come back to that. Now I want to show you this. So look at this rifle. Okay? This is, pull in there so you can show them what that is. This is a 33XC with a tight neck in it, and it's a skim turn neck. I don't know whether it would take straight brass or not, but yeah, I'm turning them to thing. Peterson brass. This is a Macmillan A3 adjustable cheek. That is the customer's Night Force 7-35 F1 ATACR on there. This is a Brux non-fluted over special diameter. It's inch, what is it, inch 325?
Yes.
To, I think, 0.1 or 0.9 at the muzzle with the Harl's brake, which you can't even tell. I honestly cannot tell myself where that brake is installed. And you gotta realize, I think I've showed this before, I install my brakes as part of the operation. In other words, that brake has been bored, B-O-R-E-D. All right, just an absolute, a BAT HR, I should have showed you this. Oh, BAT HR. Single shot solid bottom. And of course, the bedding in this, I don't know. I had, oh, and a Huber 2-stage, which because of the price, I hate to say this, guys, but because of his price increases, we may not be using them anymore. I mean, we can't afford, that's not the right thing to say. It's not that we can't afford. By the time you get up over $400 for a trigger, that is starting to become prohibitive for a lot of people. $400 just for the trigger. I mean, the dang trigger guard is $75. Okay, it's getting to be a lot of money. This whole gun right here, if you count the scope, the Badger rings, the bat receiver, the barrel, the brake, the whole thing, this whole gun sitting right here is somewhere around $9,000, okay? $9,000. Now listen to what I'm gonna say. If there was an industrial grade shredder here right now, you know, like the kind you put metal in, like at the junkyard, they drop entire engine blocks in and it comes out chewed up in pieces the size of a quarter, I would take this frickin' gun and I would jam it down in there and I would stand there and laugh. Like a freaking crazed maniac. That's what I would do with this gun. Okay? People have no idea. That thing at the end, it's not a joke. All right? You want to see something? One shot to get on paper, right? And how many times have you saw in our videos shots number 2, 3, 4 go into one hole, one ragged hole, or at the very least, a little triangle. And if you see that little triangle, it's like, okay, it's telling you, all you have to do is do seating depth work and you'll get it, right? Here's shots 2, 3, 4. Okay? Let me tell you something. And I'm gonna be using a lot of generalized statements here, but this is based now on over 50 years of experience, hundreds of guns, over 300, I think 300 guns that I have built myself and shot every single one of them. I shoot every single gun. Let me tell you something. When you see this, and this is a general statement, in all likelihood, you aren't getting down to 1/10 of an inch. You aren't getting down to 2/10 of an inch. You might get down to 4/10 of an inch. But when shots 2, 3, 4, again, a general statement tells you an enormous amount of what the potential of the gun is. Now I'm going to back up and I'm going to talk out the other side of my mouth. So if you see that, does it mean that you can't get the gun to shoot? No, it doesn't mean that. It means that probably you're never going to get the gun to shoot down into 1 or 2 or 3/10 of an inch. Okay, so here's shots 2, 3, 4. As soon as I fired these, I'm like, uh-oh, I don't like this. Because I've built, this is 33XC. I built a lot of 338s, 338 Win Mags, 338 Lapuas, 338 Lapua improved, 33XCs. Here's one of the things that's interesting about 338. Now I'm not saying it's like 6 PPC, but what I'm saying is 338s shoot. I don't know why they shoot, but they shoot. They always shoot good. They don't shoot an inch. They shoot under an inch easily. They always shoot easily too, that's the thing. Although when I say easily, it's not easy on this end of the gun. Okay, and we're gonna get into this. I put 60 rounds through this gun yesterday. And by the way, I better explain what yesterday was. So yesterday started at 2:30 a.m. In other words, Vicky had the alarm set for 2:30 a.m. I actually got up because I can't sleep the night before we shoot. I get up at 2:15. 2:15 a.m. Okay, we got to get everything out. We got to get everything loaded in the trailer. We got to get hitched up to the trailer. Where we shoot yesterday, we had to go a new place, a different place, 70 miles one way. 70 miles to get to where we're going to shoot, right? So we started at 2:30 a.m. I would say we were shooting by, do you think we were shooting by 7:30?
No, probably about 8.
8 o'clock, all right. So it takes a lot. You gotta get everything hitched up. You got to go, you got to drive, you got to get there, you got to get everything unloaded, you got to get everything set up. Of course, we want to be there as early as possible in the morning so that we can get the calm conditions, right? Cooler weather, calm conditions. And that's what it takes, okay? 2:30 in the morning we started. You want to know what time we got home last night? 10 p.m. 2:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. And we didn't unload or anything. We just pulled in the driveway and we're so freaking tired. Literally just walked in, got a shower, fell into bed. That was it. That's what yesterday was, all right? Boldly doing what no one else is dumb enough to do. Okay, that's target number 1. These are numbered. So I know exactly how it went. Target number 2. Okay, now, you see these two are together? When you see those two together, you're like, well, this is going to give us hope, right? There's hope. But experience teaches you that if you see two like this and you see one that far away, you know, 1.25 inches away, something's not right, okay? So here's what I did when we went out to shoot. And I'll come back to that. I had 2 scopes. I had this already mounted in rings. It had been mounted on this gun and removed. I had my Collis 5 to 25, my proven Collis, already in rings that I had set on to check, make sure everything is right. Okay, I started with my Collis. I always do that. Thank God that I did that and didn't just take 1 scope. Because as soon as I see this, I'm like, okay, it's the scope. You know what I mean? Scope blew up. Now you've probably seen me say that in other videos. That's because I don't trust scopes. Never have, never will, okay? I just don't trust them. Even my old Premier, which again, I've shot so many one-hole groups with that thing. You don't trust scopes. But immediately, as soon as I see this, 2 together, 1 away, a whole bunch of stuff is going on in your brain. And the first one that jumps out is scope. So this is where I think, by the 3rd one, right? Yes. I took the Collis off, put the Night Force on, used 1 to get on the paper, and then I shot this group. And Vicky, is that a 4-shot or a 5-shot?
That is a 4-shot.
Okay, 4 shots, is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, I'm not sure. I can't remember. We'd have to go back and look at all our data. It doesn't matter. So see, I switched scopes, and immediately you've got these 2 together. Now remember, you got these 2 together down there, but you got this 1 up here. Okay, so I want you to look at this, because learning to read these targets is so important. All right, these two and that is the same as these two and that. But now you've got this extra one right in here. But that's because I went to a 4-shot group. If I'd have gone to a 4-shot group with this, who knows, it might have been right there. Wait, now I gotta keep these in order. Okay, 2, 3. So I switched scopes, which is huge. You switch scopes and pretty much you get the same thing. Okay, now, watch. So we've already switched scopes, and now we're going to, this is still the, I better tell you that. The original seating depth, by the way. The original soft seat jam, not super hard jam, soft seat jam, doesn't matter, arbitrary number, but it was 4.419. That's what I established in the reloading room, okay? So next group is this. Now again, if you're not familiar with reading groups, it's the same thing. It's the exact same group. It's just bigger. Bigger here. Same group though. So the gun is shooting the same. So that's 4 targets into it. By 4 targets into it, all right, I might as well tell you this. So there's a video coming. We've videoed the entire day. That's like an 18-hour day. The whole dang thing we videoed. And you're gonna watch us in that video, you're gonna watch us go in the morning from the absolute heights of hope, because you got a brand new 33XC, best of everything. I have a month's worth of work in this gun, and that includes doing I did brass work on 110 pieces of brass, full bench rest. I mean, every single thing you can do, down to weighing the powder to the kernel, okay? Because I want to get 1 or 2/10 of an inch out of these guns. So in the morning, there we are, we're at the very heights of hope. Yeah, everything's great, wonderful, beautiful day. We're gonna have awesome. By the end of that video, we are in the depths of despair. And that's one of the reasons why it's important that you watch the video. Because anybody that's ever bought a gun and taken it out to shoot it, and it immediately started fighting you, it's a mental game. It really is. It's a mental game what is going on. Because say you just walked in the store and you bought a factory rifle. I don't care what it is. Say it's an Ruger American. You walk in there, you buy the gun, you get some ammo, you get your scope, you go out, you're gonna shoot it. What's the whole idea? The whole idea is, oh, this gun, maybe it's gonna shoot 1/2 inch, right? Let's just say though, that as soon as you start shooting it, it shoots 3 inches. And then what happens? The battle begins, right? The battle begins. Oh, well, it must be the scope is broke. Oh, well, maybe it doesn't like these bullets. Maybe it doesn't like this powder. Maybe it doesn't like the seating depth. Okay, 1,000 things start to go through your mind. And what's it doing to you? It's destroying your confidence. That's what it's doing. Okay, it's messing with your head. Because when you take a gun out, you set it on the bag, shots 2, 3, 4 go right through one hole. That gun is golden. Okay, from that moment on. And I want to tell you something else. Guns that shoot like that immediately generally get better. Guns that shoot like this generally get worse. And as we progress here, you're going to see. Now remember, I put 60 shots through this gun by myself, one shooter in one day. That's like an old man getting in the ring with Mike Tyson on his day that he was at his absolute best. You can only get hit in the head so many freaking times and be like, oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It ceases to be fun at the minute that the bullets stop going through the same hole. So you want the gun to get better, not worse. Okay, now watch. All right, and I realize I'm rambling. We started now messing with seating depth. And what we did is, I went to maximum jam. What does that mean? That means I seated the bullet like 50 thousandths longer than what it will normally go in the gun, and I cammed the bolt over to push that bullet back down into the case. In other words, you're establishing an absolute uniform cartridge overall length, and you're doing it by force, all right? Because it doesn't have an option. If that bolt closes, that bullet is engraved into that rifling uniformly, right? Because a lot of times that'll instantaneously solve your problem. Now it may create other problems too, but at least you know the overall length cannot be longer. It can't be longer. So you're eliminating one possibility. There's only one direction to go, that is shorter. All right, so here's what we did. Okay, and you're like, oh, well, it's getting better. All right, well, here's the thing. Getting better doesn't cut it. Getting better consistently cuts it.
That's a 4-shot group.
This is 4 shots? Yes, it is. Oh, that's right. That's exactly right. Thank God. Thank you for telling me this. 2 of them went through 1 hole, but look at the 2 up here. And then come back to here. Here. Come back to, stay over there. Come back to this one and look and realize it's the same thing. It's the same exact group. 2 together, 2 away. 2 through the same hole, 2 a little bit better. Okay, what number is it? This is 5, this is 3. Same exact group. So the gun, all right, I'm gonna slow down and try not to be so radical here. A lot of guys would look at this and think, oh, that's pretty good. Okay, it's only pretty good if it does it this time and the next time and the next time, and it does it for say you're gonna shoot 10 5-shot groups. If it did that 8 out of the 10 times, then it's pretty good. But that's still not good enough. And we better stop right for a second now and talk about this. You gotta think about this. This is a 33 XC with 300 grain bullets going 3,200 feet a second. What are you gonna use it for? What's its purpose? There's only 2 things. Either you're gonna shoot long range steel, and I suppose if you wanted to, you could shoot rock chucks or prairie dogs at long range, or it's gonna be the elk on the other side of the canyon that you cannot get 1 step closer to. You're here, he's here, the distance between here is 800 yards, and you ain't getting any closer, and that's the only shot you have. This gun has more energy at 1,000 yards than a 30-06 has at the muzzle, okay? That's what this gun is for. So here's the thing. Let's just say that it actually shot like this. This is the way it shot, consistently, okay? Is that good enough? Look at my face. Hell no! It ain't good enough, all right? You can't be shooting at an elk 800 yards away with a gun that shoots an inch at 100 yards. We need 3/10 of an inch at the outside, and that's for 5-shot groups, okay? So now, we continue on. We're messing with seating depth now. This one, this is also at jam. So we tried that at, actually, what I just told you is wrong. This is at 4.410. We went even shorter than that. Oh, we're going the other way now. Okay, we're going the other way. What I just told you is wrong. We're going the other way. We're backing off. Okay? So then this was the next one.
Which is a nice group.
Okay, and so I want to stop now. So I shot this group, and I wasn't sure what to do, because you got to realize, bullets, powder, primers, brass. A single dang cartridge is about $10, about $10 a shot. Okay, so I called the customer. Where we were is a different place. We had cell service. And I said to him, this is what I just shot. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to keep shooting up your stuff, or do you want to do load work? Because at this point, my mental process was still processing. In other words, I'm watching the targets, and it's starting to get better, right? It seems like it's getting better. And so when I shoot this, then I'm thinking, all right, I'll call him, I'll see what he wants to do. Which would he rather have? Would he rather have his brass and his bullets and all that stuff? Or would he rather have me shoot the gun and see what we can get? And you know what he said to me? And I'm so glad he did. He said to me, keep shooting. Keep shooting. He said, I think he said, shorten up the cartridge overall length a little bit more, shoot another group, see what it does. And we had both assumed that I was going to shorten it up a hair more, and then we were going to get like this. If we get this, that's okay. Or this, that's okay. The problem is this is borderline, maybe okay. Only if it's going to get better. All right? So I went from a point where, and you'll see on the video, where we were sort of getting up on, it was getting better. Our mental state was getting better, right? So I moved it again. I moved it to 4.400. Now here's the thing that you have to understand. I want to go back here. I want to go back to target 3. Because if you don't understand this stuff, you can literally, and I did this years ago, you can literally spend years of your life trying to figure out the magic load for a gun. And you will be there forever and you'll never find it. Look at this. I want you to see something. It's the same group. It's the same exact group. Do you see it? Same group. Different orientation on the paper, a little bit bigger, but it's the same damn group. Okay? Same exact thing. All right? So of course, we go from talking to him and saying, it's getting better, and he's like, well, go a little bit more and see what you get. And then we get this. So you're literally watching us like on a psychological roller coaster. Okay? Oh, we're up. Ah, we're down. Okay? Oh my God. All right, so it shoots that. And then, what do I decide? Oh, you decide what makes most sense. You go back to the one that shot the small 3-shot small group. You go to that exact same cartridge overall length and you shoot it again. Because you got to test it, right? One group is just the theory. Right? One group is just the theory. You have to repeat it. In other words, a gun that shoots, say you take a gun out, you shoot 5 shots, it's in 2/10 of an inch. That doesn't mean it's a 2/10 of an inch gun. That means that it shot 1 2/10 inch group. That's all it means. That basically means nothing. Again, if you can shoot 10 groups and 8 of them are in that range, then that means, okay, it's a good gun. Or it's a 2/10 gun, whatever. This is crap. Okay? That's what this is. All right? Okay, so obviously we're not progressing anymore during the day yesterday. So now this one doesn't say. I think, is this? That one's for sure. I don't know whether we shot this one at the same one. It doesn't matter. It's not on there. Again, we have all this written down on our notes. I don't know whether that was the same cartridge overall length or if it was different or if we just tried to duplicate that one again. And so again, is this 4 shots or 5?
That is 4 shots.
4 shots.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yes.
Because I can't tell.
You know?
I think it's 4 shots.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think we quit. You notice, by the way, same exact group, right? 2 and 2. Same dang thing, right? Nothing has changed. Here's what's crazy about this. Since the beginning of shooting this gun, from the very first 3 shots, it's the same thing. Okay, now watch. So here's where we did what I was trying to tell you. Now we go 4.475. In other words, I moved it out about 60-some thousandths out, longer. And I jammed them in there. I mean, literally, cammed them over, felt them engraving, right? And you figure, okay, well, that's going to do it. It's the same exact thing. Okay? It's the same exact thing. All that is here is we got the extra bullet. But you've still got your 2 and 2 with your 1 away. It's the same group. Okay? All right, so there's that. And you got to realize, this is over a progression of, well, like you say, you think we started shooting at 8? So by the time you see that target there, that's 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Yeah. Approximately. All right, now we are at that same one, because we wanted to see if it would duplicate that. Oh, and I got to tell you something here now. And I should have all my other notes. So in the process of yesterday, 2 scopes, 2 bullets, 2 powders, okay? Because we're messing with more things at once here. And yes, I know a million guys are going to be like, you only move one thing at a time. I get that. Absolutely. And that is the wise way to do it. But when you have this much experience, you can kind of feel out all the variables and know what's going on. All right? And because I'm trying to get to the smallest group using the least amount of components, I have to make judgment calls. I gotta say, what is priority? Is it switching bullets or is it switching powder? Whatever, it doesn't matter. 2 scopes, 2 powders, 2 bullets, right? All right. So we're back at that same long seating depth. We have changed either bullets or we've changed powder. I can't remember which. And this is what we get.
We
Okay.
changed. We went to less powder.
Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's more than that. There's actually 2 scopes, 2 bullets, 2 powders, and multiple seating depths, and I changed the velocity. It seemed like when this gun was run, this was gun yesterday ran, these are 300 grain bullets, 300 grain burgers, 300 grain Lapua Skinars, right? That's the 2 bullets we were using. Known accurate bullets. Not only was I changing seating depth, I also changed velocity, and I did it fairly radically. I went from, on a high, we were running at like 32.25, and I was getting just a little bit of bolt click. It was like, there wasn't really pressure, but it just, you could tell. And so I went from 32.25, I dropped the whole way back down to 3100. At 3100, these things run 3100 easily, no pressure whatsoever. So I also varied velocity because, and the reason I did that is, as a general rule, a lot of times guns will shoot their absolute best at max. Right wherever top end velocity is, that is where they shoot. But I have also seen rarely where you take a gun and you slow it down and suddenly it gets into tune and it shoots better. So again, I was trying to give the gun every benefit of the doubt that I possibly could, give it every benefit to try to shoot. Okay, so this one, I think this is where we slowed it down. Okay, so still, if you look at it, it's the exact same deal. 2, 2, 1.
And it's not bad.
It's not whether it's good or bad. I almost want to stick Vicky in the dang frickin' chipper also. Okay, she doesn't seem to understand saying it's not bad. Not bad is not good enough to hit a 12-inch by 12-inch plate at 1,500 yards.
I get that.
Okay, you have to extrapolate here a little bit. If that, let's just say that's an inch group. Well, then it's automatically a 10-inch group at 1,000 yards. It's automatically a 20-inch group at 2,000 yards. You add the wind into it, and now you got a 4-foot group. Okay, it's not good enough. What would be good enough is that. 5 shots through there. That would be good enough. This isn't good enough. This is crap. Okay, so now, again, I don't know what we did here. We pulled way back. Now we pulled way back. I pulled like 100 thou because I wanted to see from absolute max jam to not touching at all, which I very rarely ever build a gun that doesn't shoot its best at touching or jam. And if you doubt that, go on the internet, find Secrets of the Houston Warehouse. Take a red pen as you go through the article, and the one thing that will just slap you upside the head is whenever he says, we never shot a group in the zeros unless the bullet was in some form touching the rifling. That's anywhere from jam to just kissing the rifling. That's an absolute statement. We never shot a group in the zeros unless the bullet was touching the rifling. And I could talk for hours about that, but if you think about it, that makes sense. Jumping a bullet is stupid. I mean, I realize that's super simplistic, but you're asking a lot, even from a super tight, perfect, everything perfect gun, to jump a bullet into the rifling. You're asking more of the gun than if the bullet is already at least lightly touching and aligned with the rifling so that the bullet goes straight into it. Plus, you get a more even pressure curve. That's the other thing I want to talk about too, is we started out with H50 BMG. I won't tell you the numbers, doesn't matter. And I didn't like what I saw with that 50 BMG, so I switched over to Vidivori 24N41. Way more consistent numbers on the chronograph. We were down in some of these 3 and 5 shot strings, single digits. So that was good. Anyways, this is crap. Same exact group. Okay, now, this, you got to realize now, when you watch this video, this upcoming video, which she will be working on, it's going to take, I bet you take 15 hours to do that video, right? To get that all edited. It'll take so much time, but it's coming. It's going to be the next one. By the end of the day, you know, you're at your wit's end, and you can just see us. I mean, we're so depressed at the end of this day because we're calculating out everything that is to come, and we're going to go into that in a minute. So I went back to, you always go back to what worked. I went back to the 4.405 that shot the smaller groups, and I'm like, I'm going to bear down like I've never bared down, concentrate. I'm going to put them all through one hole. Now here's what happened. This is what's crazy. I should put my thumb over that. There's the first two shots. They went exactly through that one hole. And I'm like, okay, maybe we got it. And there's the third shot. And I did not pull that. Absolutely, positively, I did not pull it. It was a good shot. And so I just stopped. I guarantee you the next one would have went right there, and that would have put a fifth one somewhere. Because you've been seeing that's 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, like just like that, since the first shot that we fired out of the dang gun. Now, here's the thing. What do you do? What do you do? And I got to get this across to people. If I don't, I'm going to quit. I'm not joking. I'm going to quit building guns. I'm going to go drive a truck. I'm going to go do something else because nobody is understanding what goes on here. We are doing something that no one else does. Why does no one else do this? Because nobody wants to be in this position. I don't want to be in this position. But there is no way that you can actually believe in do unto others as you would have done unto you and give this gun to the customer. I can't. How can I do it? It's impossible. I wouldn't want it. This is how we partly made the decision. We laid all these targets out and we looked at them all. And as much as Vicky's like, well, it shoots pretty good, I said to her very simply, I said, look at all the targets. Would you want that gun? And if you spent the money to have this gun built and you have your hopes set at 2/10 of an inch and you've seen that this guy has built other ones of these guns that shot literally one hole. That 133XC, that red one, is so accurate, I can't even believe it. It puts 300 grain A-tips in 1/10 of an inch, all right? And you know that. You're the customer. You know that. So you hire this guy. You say, build me this gun. And you understand what it's for. It's for long-range shooting. And he's hoping for 2/10, 1/10 inch gun. You look at all the targets and you say to yourself, well, if you were the customer, would you want that gun? And the answer is no. No, absolutely, positively not. Now, here's the thing. What do you do? What do you do? Okay? And we never even went to sleep last night. I was literally sitting up looking at the ceiling all night long, trying to decide. Here's the thing. There's a second barrel. This customer ordered 2 identical barrels at the exact same time. I built both barrels at the same time, identical. The headspace between them is less than half a thought. I really couldn't measure it. That's how close it is. Everything, the length, every single thing about them is identical. But guess what? They were ordered at the exact same time. They came out of the same order. They're both special order barrels, special breech diameter, special taper, special muzzle. They're all special. So what do you think? When I call Brooks up and say, what should I do? In all likelihood, these barrels are the same. Now, and I don't want this video to get too long because this is just supposed to be an intro to the other video. I heard John Krieger with his own lips. I watched him say that in the same rod of steel, the exact same rod, a 21-foot length of steel, I don't know what they are, inch 300, inch 500 diameter, in the same exact piece of steel, they have seen a world-class Hummer and a total piece of scrap garbage in the same rod of steel. Okay, so I want to tell you one more thing too that convinced us and put us at this spot where I'm absolutely guaranteeing it's the barrel. The patches did not look right. You know when you push a tight patch through, it should have a certain pattern on it, depending on whether it's a 4 groove or a 5 groove, or this is a 6 groove, okay? It should have a certain pattern on it, and these patches didn't, and it looked like it was smeared. Now, I have a bore scope, and I've had the urge to just get it out and look, but it almost doesn't matter to me right now because I see how it shoots. So if I look in there and I confirm, oh yeah, there's definitely something wrong with one of those lands, or I look in there and say, oh no, it looks perfect. What matter if it looks perfect? I see how it shoots. I see how it shoots with me shooting. And I want to tell you something else, and we didn't have this on film yesterday. So I was so depressed by the time I was done with this, anticipating what it's going to take to fix this, that I had an old beater 308 that I built years and years ago. It has a Hart barrel on it. I had it with me. I got it out, I set it down on the bench. First 3 shots went under 2/10 of an inch at 100 yards. I didn't change anything. I just sat it on, just sat down, bam, 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 right through the same hole.
Factory ammo.
Factory ammo. Factory Federal Gold Medal 168s, okay? Right through the same hole. And so then I'm like, a gun like this, especially to a non-experienced person, it'll erode your confidence. It'll cause you to start doubting yourself. By the end of the day, you're saying, can I shoot? You're saying, is it me? And so I'm trying to give as much wisdom here as I possibly can. If you have a good gun that you know shoots, shoot the good gun and say, test yourself. Okay, can I shoot? All right, say your ability to shoot's 3/10 of an inch. You sit down, you shoot 3/10 of an inch with the gun. You get this gun out, and it shoots 1 inch. It's the gun. It's not you. It's the gun. That's the first thing. That's probably the biggest hurdle, because most people will assume that it's them. I don't assume it's me. I go to the scope, because I've seen so many scopes blow up. I assume it's the scope. Then, the next thing I start working through is all the mental things. Are the guard screws tight? This has integral rail. That's one of the reasons why we use these. This has Badger rings. I just start through an entire process of elimination, trying to figure out where's the flyer coming from, right? Where's it coming from? Why won't these all go through one hole? And I just go through that process until I come to the only thing that remains is the barrel. And I want you to think about something from the builder's perspective. I have zero control over the barrels. I buy Krieger, Bartlein, and Brooks. And by the way, obviously years ago, I bought Hart, I bought Schillen Select, I think I've had some Liljas, I've had some excellent barrels. But guess what? Now I can say that if I've had a bad barrel, at least one, from every single person. Every single person of the Krieger, Bartlein, Brooks. I don't use any button barrels anymore. That doesn't mean they don't shoot, it just means I don't use them. I use Krieger, Bartlein, Brooks. And I have had outstanding barrels from all 3 of those guys. And in fact, some of the most accurate 7mm barrels I ever had were Brooks. They just hammered. But now, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I believe I've said on camera before, I've had bad barrels from everybody but Brooks. Well, now I have a bad Brooks, okay? And, well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? I guarantee you they don't ship a barrel unless they think it's awesome. Yet, every single one of those top-end makers acknowledge that you get bad barrels. And every single one of them acknowledge they don't know why. They don't know why. Why in the same piece of steel is one a Hummer and one a piece of junk? Why is that? They don't know. They don't know. And so the thing about that is they build it to the best they can, they ship it out. Okay, now it's whoever bought its problem. The issue with this is, by the way, and this barrel's cryoed. So this barrel has, because it's special, this is like $600 barrel, right? Approximately? By the time it's cryoed and all the stuff, that's just the raw material. You got $600 in it, but that's not the problem. The problem is that it's the chambering and it's the brake and it's hours and hours, days worth of work, all right? What do most guys do? They build you call up a custom gun builder, and I realize I'm rambling. You call up a custom gun builder, you order a gun. They build the whole entire gun, they put it in a box and send it to you. You know why? Because now it's your problem. It's your problem now. You take it out and say it shoots 1 inch. You know what 99% of the guys do? They're like, oh, well, it shoots 1 inch because I can only shoot 1 inch, or I have a bad scope, or they do like I used to do when they were young, when I was young. They sit there for a whole summer trying to figure out why does it shoot 1 inch. They just go through an endless process. Different bullets, primers, powder, different everything, searching for the magic load. Let me tell you something, again, more wisdom. There is no magic load. Good guns shoot, and they shoot immediately. You take it out, you set it down on the bench, bam, bam, bam. They go right into a ragged hole, all right? Sometimes a gun that shoots 3/4 of an inch, you might get it under half, maybe down to 3 or 4/10, but that's the limit of it, all right? Chasing after the magic load is a fool's errand, okay? All you're doing is wasting your time. So now, I said a whole lot here. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. What's the solution? All right, I want to get back to the solution. So there's a second barrel, an identical second barrel. But what's involved in that, from a builder's perspective, is this has to be broken apart. To do that, almost certainly, I'm going to mar the receiver, mar the Duracoat process on it. Then, and I already shipped it to the customer, by the way. Who knows how much that costs to ship that dang barrel to him, okay? Then he's got to ship the barrel back, all right? So I take that barrel, which is already Duracoated. I'm going to have to mount that barrel on this receiver. Almost certainly, it'll mar the barrel, okay? So I'm going to have to re-bead blast the receiver and the barrel and re-Duracoat everything. What I just said, that's 2 days worth of work, okay? Then, depending on how the bedding feels, remember, the most important part about bedding is how it feels, and I don't have time to go into that, but it's either bedded properly or it's not. If it's totally dead, D-E-A-D, then it's bedded properly. So I have to put it back in, put everything back into the bedding, tighten everything down, see how it feels. If it feels perfect, then the next thing to do is go shoot it again. If it feels anything off, you got to re-bed it. That's at least 2 more days, at least 2 more days. Okay, rebed it, then finally get everything right, put it all back together. Now, I'm not going out to shoot. I have 40 remaining pieces of fully prepped brass. That is not enough, just in case this crap happens again. Although it probably would be, because like I said, if it's going to shoot, it'll shoot. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So then you dedicate an entire another day to going out to shoot it again, to see what you're going to get. And there's no way to know. Just because this one doesn't shoot, the other one might shoot like crazy. There's no absolute way to know except to try it. The other option, which I've already explored, I've explored what barrels I own and what barrels we've been looking everywhere for hours, seeing what barrels are in the marketplace that I could buy. And there are some Bartlands that definitely I could buy and start over with a brand new barrel, completely brand new, different barrel. But then once that's done, same deal. Bead blast everything back out, re-Duracoat everything, load for it, go back out another entire day and shoot it again. You're talking, we were just trying to calculate this out. To get this gun back to where I was yesterday morning is probably going to be somewhere an expenditure somewhere of around probably 10 to 12 or 14 days and $3,000 to $4,000 just to get back to where I was yesterday morning. And then when you take it out, there's no guarantee that it's going to shoot. And that is why that all of the gun builders, there's so many of them that build guns, build the gun, put it in a box, ship it away. It's your problem. If it doesn't shoot, doesn't shoot. Too bad. Too bad. And I want to tell you something else. And there's a lot of guys moving into this, and I know why they're doing this. It's financial. There are a lot of guys, and guys call me up, by the way, and they ask me to do it. They say, I have a barrel and I have a receiver. Will you thread the barrel, chamber the barrel, put it onto the receiver, etc.? Will you do metal work for me? You know what I always say? No, I won't do metal work. And they always say, why won't you do it? And I say, because I'm a retard, stupid idiot. No, what I actually say is because I can't take the gun out and shoot it. How am I going to know what we have if I just do metal work? And there's quite a few guys, I know 2 of them quite well, That's what they're doing. They do metal work. They do barrel receiver work. And they're doing excellent financially because you can do all that. If you're really good at it, and if it's something you've done a lot, and I'm talking about certain contours, certain chambers, certain reamers, you could almost do it in one day. You could do the whole entire job in one day and say they charge $400 for that. Well, okay, that's all right. If you're making $400 a day, I make $4 an hour, if that even, okay? And this is why. Because one of these is a major, major financial, time and financial hit. The worst, I think I've said this on camera before too. The worst year we ever had, I had 6 bad barrels in 1 year. 6 in 1 year. It literally almost drove us into bankruptcy. Because all it is, it's an endless do-over. Do it over, do it over, do it over. But I got to focus here. When this guy gets this gun, it's going to shoot in one hole. Do you understand that? It's going to shoot in one hole, or he's not going to get it until it does. And I absolutely, positively, I'm like the Terminator. I absolutely, positively will not quit until it does. And that is why that our phone should be ringing off the hook, and it isn't. And I really don't understand it. Boldly doing what no one else is dumb enough to do. Watch the video, it's coming.